Good morning, everyone. Good to see you this bright, sunny morning. We're heading into the Easter season. Actually, next week is going to be Palm Sunday, and the following Sunday will be Easter Sunday. And we have lots of things happening right now. It's quite an exciting season, especially the amazing summer weather, right? We just had the spring equinox. It doesn't feel like it was spring. It feels like it was summer already coming to us. So we're continuing today in the series on fulfilling relationships. We've been exploring the different aspects of relationships. We looked at our relationship with God, our Heavenly Parent. We looked at our relationship in marriage, husband and wife. We looked at relationships within the family, parents and children. And last week we started in talking about friends. And I'm going to continue because there's lots of things to say about friends. But I figured I'd tell you a little story about some really good friends that I heard about last week. And there were these three really good friends. Now, they were also kind of old. So one thing that happens when we get old is we don't remember things so quickly, especially short-term memory. But anyway, they went out on one of these luxury cruises and whatever. But unfortunately, there was a problem, and they got stranded on a desert island. Just these three friends. Now, they'd been friends for years, so that was one good thing. At least they were there together on the same island. Well, they'd been there for a couple of days, and then an amazing thing happened. They discovered a genie in a bottle. Right? So they were able to, they opened up, got the bottle, they rubbed it, and the genie pops out and says, okay, 3 wishes I can give you. And so they were, oh, great. Well, they're good friends. They figured, well, let's share. Each person will get 1 wish, right? So the first friend, he said, okay, I wish I was back home. And poof, he was back home. And the second friend, he wished, that he would also be back home. Poof, and he was back home. And the third guy, he's sitting there thinking and thinking. He goes, I really miss my friends. Oh, no. I wish they were here with me right now. So, anyway, that's a good friend, right? Wants to have the friends with him. Anyway, God designed everything to exist through relationships. Now, the core purpose of the Family Federation, we had a nice seminar yesterday talking with some of the different pastors all around the country. And the fundamental purpose, if you were to boil down all the activities and all the mission and purpose of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, that purpose is that everybody experiences God's true love in every relationship in their life. So, of course, we've talked about the relationships with God and the relationship with people, and also we're going to be talking about the relationship with things and the environment around us. But this is really a description of God's heavenly kingdom, where as human beings, we have relationships of true love and joy with everything. With people, with things, with God, with the entire universe. And this is our mission. So this is why we were going through this series on relationships, because that's at the bottom line of happiness and joy and fulfillment in our life. Well, here, let me read this from Father Moon. Father Moon says, the way to heaven is to broaden the scope of our love by loving the people in our homes, our family, we start there, by loving our neighbors, by loving our friends, relatives, clans, nation, and the whole population of the world. So as we expand our love out from our family to our community, then we're expanding love and healing and goodness in the world. So we've been going through, last week we talked about the value of true friends. So what were some of the values that we talked about? This is a quiz time, right? Let's see how many of you remembered from last week. There were 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that I gave last week. So what were some of the benefits of having friends? Those are qualities. There's qualities of friends. Well, one of the benefits is spiritual growth, right? Because the more we interact with people, the more we're going to grow spiritually. What's another one of those benefits? Spiritual. There's physical health. And then there's emotional health, right? Emotional health, people that we can trust and, talk to and comfort us. Physical health, people have friends, live longer. Yeah. And then, what was the fourth one? It was more joy. Yeah. If you have people to share things with, if you have friends that you can share stuff with, you're going to have more happiness and multiply the joy in your life. And also, in accomplishing our goals and activities in life. The more friends we have, the more we can network, right? The more ideas we can get, the more skills we bring together, especially we have a diverse group of people in our lives and in our environment. Let me check here. So, we also talked about some of the qualities of true friendship. So, what were some of those? Listening to people. Trusting, building trust. Investing time, right? Quality of time. Listening. What else? Acceptance, right? Being unconditionally loving people means we accept them. And also that we celebrate them whether it's up or down. In the good times and in the bad times, right? You have someone there for you.
Yeah, give you a ride to the hospital.
Somebody that will be there to give you a ride to the hospital if you need it. And also, the good friends, best friends, bring out the best in each other. We support each other in doing the right thing and call each other when we're kind of getting off. So last week we talked about these ideals, why it's good to have friends, and also why, how, what's the quality of best friends. So this week I want to look at some practical things, and that's how do we make friends. Now, we, of course, want to make friends, so we can be spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy, and so we can accomplish our goals, and so we can have more joy in our life, right? But now, as unificationists, now I'm going to speak for a minute just for unificationists here, but for unificationists, there's something more that goes beyond just making friends for, those benefits that we get. It's part of our core mission in life, is to create a tribe of true love, a tribe of friendships and relationships. It's not just, in Unification Church, we're not just focusing on, we just want to witness and convert people and bring people to our church. The kingdom of heaven isn't going to come from us getting everybody to join this church. You understand that? No, the kingdom of heaven on earth will not come because everybody in the world is a member of the Unification Church. Not the plan. But the plan is the kingdom of heaven will come because everyone has a network, a tribe, an expanded family of social contacts, a network of people who experience God's love in all of their relationships. So we start with our own friends, our own network of people, and we want to support them in experiencing God's love in all aspects of their lives. We want our friends and people to feel the experience of fulfilling the three great purposes, right? Individual maturity, experiencing God, relationships in the family, and relationships with creation. So the kingdom of heaven comes based on families and people and relationships. So what we're looking to do is not convert people, but to support and educate and raise up people. Now, we do want to invite people because we're trying to develop a culture of marriage to participate in the marriage blessing, right? But they don't need to change. There's Buddhists, Catholics, Hindus, Muslims, Presbyterians that participate in the marriage blessing of the land. They don't need to become unificationists. We do want people to experience God. We do want people to have a fulfilled life. And we start by expanding our own area of influence with the people that we care about in our life. We all want to have a tribe, that's kind of a unification word, but we want to have a network of people that we love and care about and we contribute to, and who cares about us and contributes and helps us. It's a two-way street. We're going out there and I'm going to fix people in the world. No, friends are where we have a two-way relationship. We always grow and benefit through the dynamic of our relationships with people around us. So it's important in our life to develop friends and to expand our network of friends constantly. In traditional Christianity, we call that witnessing. For us, we call it building a true love tribe of friends, of people who can know and grow together with us, right? So that's the ideal. We know that we should be out there making friends, but honestly speaking, now this sermon, I have to say, is a bit challenging for me because I'm a bit of a hermit. I like my solitary time. I'm not that social a person. I've worked, I've practiced to overcome that a little bit, but honestly speaking, I'm a shy person. I had like one friend in high school, and that was fine. I was quite fine with that. Actually, when I went to college is when I discovered, people are kind of neat. People are kind of interesting, There's whole different types of people, and my world expanded a lot. But it's very easy for me to sit back and just, I'm quite comfortable being alone. But I've understand and over time learned that the joy that I can experience is even greater when I have friends and people that I can share things with, that I can share opportunities, share joy, share discoveries. And also that I grow a lot faster when I have people, friendships, in relationships in my life. So, let's look at some of the things that stop us from making new friends. Now, I may be the only one here. Maybe all you guys are very outgoing and, you go into a market and you're immediately making a bunch of friends, right? I'm not like that. So for those of you who are not like that, then might look at some of these things. The first thing that a lot of times we use, why I don't make more friends, is that I'm just too busy. If we're too busy to make new friends, then we're too busy. We need people in our lives, and we need to get our priorities straight because we recognize the value, right? We already talked about the value of having friends in our life, for our spiritual health, our emotional health, our physical health, for accomplishing goals, and for fulfillment and joy in our lives. So if we say, oh no, because of work, because I don't have enough time, that we're not going to invest in that, what we're doing is we're cutting ourselves off from the opportunity to grow and to be healthy and strong. So, busy, okay, I've heard that excuse. I've made that excuse a number of times, but it really doesn't wash in terms of thinking about how we find fulfillment in our life. Well, what's the next thing, that for a lot of us stops us? Honestly speaking, it's fear. It's like, oh man, the fear of embarrassment or fear of rejection. I'm going to go and see, if I say hi to that person, they might reject me. Oh, or if I go say hi to that person, I might be embarrassed because something that I say or do or whatever. When we do that, what are we doing? We're thinking about me. It's like, me. I'm thinking about me. The thing that overcomes fear, the opposite of fear is love. If we're thinking about love and caring, and when we look at developing new friendship and relationships, if our focus is on, I want to experience more of God's love, I want to spread more of God's love, then our motivation is to how do I benefit? How can I bring something positive to this interaction, to this relationship? Now, fear is not, at least for me, not an easy thing to deal with. I have to take it step by step. It's like, honestly speaking, I've often found that just throwing myself into the deep end of the pool and trying to swim has been the best way for me. But each of us has to find ways that we deal with the fears that keep us from really being genuine and being present with the people in our lives, with the people around us. So recognizing that fear and recognizing that actually this is not who I want to be. I want to grow. I want to be a person who's not controlled by my fears. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I'm afraid something bad might happen. But we want to be a person who's motivated, empowered to do things because of the purpose and the bigger vision that we have. So fear is something that we have to be conscious of, pay attention to, and seek to address. And the last issue that at least I deal with, and maybe some of you too, is the fancy word is inertia. The more normal word is just laziness. Just, inertia is something that's moving keeps moving, which is good. something that's at rest, it tends to just stay at rest. It doesn't move. And if we get complacent in our lives, we get comfortable. I'm comfortable where I am. If I make a new friend, it's going to make things more complicated. I'm happy with my set group of friends. Or I'm happy staying home and playing on the computer games. Or I'm happy with my friends that I have on Facebook. I don't have to see them. I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to do anything. I can just friend them. Oh, I like that post. We can be really lazy in our lives. And what that does is if we're not reaching out and interacting with people in our lives, we're dying. We slowly die. Our world gets smaller and smaller, and we die. Interaction and getting ourselves into movement, into action, brings power. The nice thing about inertia is that once you get moving, you tend to keep moving. Like I gave the example of throwing myself in the deep end. Going to a meeting or an event, there's lots of people around, people are talking. My habit is, let me just find a comfortable spot and I'll just sit there and I'll enjoy watching people. Don't ask me to talk to anyone. But I'll just, let me just watch and observe. Throwing myself in the deep end is I actually walk up, I listen to the conversation, and I try to find something to say. Scary. But once I begin, then I get, there's an interaction that starts, an energy that gets generated. And actually, hey, this is kind of neat. This is kind of fun. This person is actually interesting. I'm enjoying this conversation. But unless I overcome that first initial inertia and push myself to make that contact, to make that connection, it won't happen. It's very easy just to let inertia dominate and guide our lives. So remember, if we're not challenging ourselves, if we're not growing, we're dying. We're dying. So there's 3 broad areas for growing our friends, for making new friends. The first area is we just need to be social. We need to find ways to spend time with people we don't know, with new people. And there's lots of ways to be social. One is just volunteer for things. Volunteer activities, a lot of activities we have. Opportunities, especially if you're volunteering about something that you care about, you're automatically meeting people that are interested in something that you're interested in. They care about something that you care about. Great opportunity. So what we're looking for is not just anyone. We're looking for people that we can have a common interest and that share with. So we have lots of people in opportunities. Those of you who are in school and classes, you always have opportunity meeting people in class or school, but also taking a class, especially for us adults who are not in school, taking a class of something that we're all interested in, or finding a club that we're interested in, an opportunity to meet more people. One of the challenges is to put ourselves in the uncomfortable position of meeting new people. So, attending events that are interesting to us, events and activities, going to an event and meeting people, putting ourselves in that situation, and also accepting invitations. God puts lots of opportunities in our life, opportunities for us to meet people. There's this Asian, what is it called, story that I heard, just a line that says, it takes 2,000 years to prepare for you to bump someone's shoulder on the streets. That all the kind of things that go into effect for you to meet someone. Imagine, in God's providence, how long, how much God and spirit world and all kinds of factors are involved in us meeting the people that we meet in our lives. And do we just let that go by? Or do we actually, here's this opportunity to meet someone that I can develop a growing relationship, a mutually beneficial growing relationship. So we want to pay attention, accept invitations, opportunities to interact with people, especially around areas that are things that we care about, things that are important to us, and things that are consistent with our own values, and things that are good. So getting out there, throwing ourselves into a situation where there's lots of people around, well, what's the next thing we need to do? Well, We need to be friendly. That also takes a little bit of work, some challenge, you know. And the key point to being friendly, to being open to people, is that we don't focus on ourselves. You know, maybe we walk into a room and there's a whole bunch of people and everyone's talking, and you're thinking, oh man, how do I look? You know, do I look okay? Is my hat on straight? Is my hair funny? You know, what's going on? I'm all thinking about, what are people thinking when they look at me? Well, you know what everyone else is doing? They're thinking the same thing. They're like, oh yeah, what's he thinking of me? You know, how am I looking? You know? If we look and think not about myself, it gives us a lot of extra confidence. You know, if you're focused, I could spend days listing all of my shortcomings, all the problems, all the inconsistencies, all with me. You know, I can go on for a long time with that list, and it's not going to give me any energy. It's not going to give me any power. But if I'm looking at the people around me and looking to find those things of goodness that I want to, and that I can interact with, if I'm looking at people, how can I bring God's presence, God's love in all of our interactions, in these interactions with people? So the second thing is be genuine. We're not trying to trick someone to being our friend, you know, because that doesn't work. And I wouldn't want a friend that I was tricked into being my friend. Right? We're looking and being genuine. We are who we are. We're, you know, imperfect. You know, we have good points or bad points, but we are who we are. Be genuine. Don't try to fake it. You know, and smile. You know, and not just smiling with your mouth. You know, it's really a healthy attitude is to practice smiling with your eyes. You know. Don't even smile with your mouth. How can you smile with your eyes? When we practice genuine, conveying that kind of genuine appreciation of people and smiling, making eye contact when we talk with people. This is how we make connections with people. By being ourselves, by being genuine, and then offering a positive energy. Positive energy. So the other thing is when we're in conversations with people, pay attention. You know, let's learn about the people that we're talking to. You know, learn what are the things that they like. What are the things that they're interested in. You know, we're looking for people that we have something in common with. We're looking at people that we can develop a mutually beneficial relationship. People that we would be interested in, and people also that would find us interested. So we have something in common, of mutually beneficial. So we listened and we remember what are their experiences. What have they done? What are the interesting things about them? And what do they prefer? What are the things that they like and don't like? What we're doing is we're giving attention. We're giving love by paying attention and learning about people. Not just, okay, what's the next thing I can say? When we had that conversation, we talked about listening. Paying attention means genuinely listening to people. Not thinking, okay, now what's the next thing I can say that's maybe going to impress them? No. Let's listen to what they're saying and learn it. And then the next thing is that we can ask questions. The best way to learn about someone is to ask questions. Genuine questions. Something that you're genuinely interested in. You know, wow, how did you do that? What's that like? This is one of the best ways to make conversation. Is you find someone that you have something in interest, you know, common interest that you share, and then to ask questions, not just, oh yeah, do you think it's going to rain today? That's not going to take you very far, you know. I mean, those superficial things might get it started. But if someone were looking to really develop a friendship, then we want to ask questions that are relevant, that are interesting, things that we genuinely want to know. And if we get people to share about themselves, we learn more about them, and also all of us like to talk about ourselves, and especially if someone expresses genuine interest in us, then it's nice to be able to share about things, you know, that are valuable and interesting and that, important to us. So if someone's asking that, then I'm happy to be able to share that. So we learn also about these people, our potential friends, our potential future co-workers, partners, people that we can build a heavenly kingdom with. So also in this area of being friendly is being willing to self-disclose. It means being vulnerable, opening up ourselves sometimes. Now, you don't start out with opening up with my deepest, darkest secret, and blowing people out of the water, right? No, that's, no, please, please. Too much information, right? No, thank you. No, but just being open, I come to these situations, these events, and I never know what to say to people. How do you talk about that? Good. Easy question to ask people, It's like, yeah, I could never figure out that. How do you do that? How do you do that? Or just, honest, being open, not like you're going to dump the burden of the world on the person, but just being willing to be open and to self-disclose. And this is going to be important in deepening a relationship as well. Building trust is when we extend trust to that person. But in the initial stages, we're just opening ourselves up, not sharing our deepest, darkest secrets, but just opening ourselves so they feel more open that they can share as well. But again, the focus is on them, not on, okay, now let me tell you my story. No, it's I want to hear from them and create that connection, that foundation. And finally, we want to pay attention to see, is this mutual? Gauge interest. Pay attention. Is this look like a potential mutually beneficial and interesting relationship? Are they showing interest in me? Are they asking questions about me? Do they ask, what do I do? Or are they just being polite? Do they tell about themselves in a genuine way, shared? When we're talking, are they giving their attention to me? Or are they looking for the person over the shoulder that might be more interesting to talk to? And do they express interest in, hey, we have something in common here. We're not looking to trick people or to grab or to capture some friends or things like that. We're looking for people that we can develop a genuine, fulfilling, mutually beneficial relationship with. And if the person is more interested in themselves, if they just go on and on about this and this that they did for themselves and like that, you might notice that, that person may not be someone I really want to spend that much time with, right? We're looking for people who want to be part of our tribe, of people who love each other, who care about each other, and invest in each other. So the starting point is being social, getting ourselves out there so that we're interacting with more people. Just putting ourselves in an environment where there's more people to interact with. And then being friendly through conversation, through give and take, and through interaction. Finally, to build on that first contact, we need to love with diligence. That's how I put it. We need to practice the real expression of love by in that way, deepening the connection that we have with the people in our lives, with our friends. So the first thing we need to pay attention to is give and get contact information. If we meet someone, sometimes you might make your little business card. If you actually have a business card, that's easy, something easy you can give people and get from people. But if you don't have a business card, make your own little card about yourself. Maybe you have your own little website. Oh yeah, here's my website. Just a card about who you are and how you're interested. That's an easy thing to do. If there are people that you're going to meet over and over again, then that's not easy. But if it's someone that you're going to meet this one time and you may never see them again unless we make specific effort to be able to recontact them. So that's giving and that kind of contact information. Also, work on remembering the names, right? We all appreciate when people remember our names, and I have this problem desperately bad. I can remember a face. I can even remember content of the conversation. But it comes to the names like, and the worst thing I do is say, oh, hi, Fred. My name's Tom. Oops. That's even worse. It's like I'm there. I want to say his name, but is that the right name? I'm not quite sure. I'm going back and forth. Do I dare throw it out that it might be wrong? So then I don't say any name, right? So But in those situations, what I've learned to do, and I want to share this little book here. A lot of the content from this sermon comes from this nice little book. It's a skinny book, I just kind of like, not too long, 70 simple rules for making meaningful connections. The Art of Friendship. Got it from the library. I highly recommend it. Very, just a lot of little tips and tricks, they're relatively short. On meeting friends and deepening friendships and relationships. And it's not just superficial. It's actually got some good, profound stuff in there as well. So remembering people, sometimes I can't remember a name. But if I can remember what we talked about last time we connected, what their interests were, again, if I was paying attention and listening, and I remember what they were interested in, say, I can confess. I remember you, but I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. But, when we talked about deep sea fishing, man, it was great. And I just, could you remind me your name? I'm sorry, I'm Charles again. If we can reference something that we remember about them, then they know that we remember them. It's not just, I don't really care, and I think but they know that we remember them. We can convey that by at least expressing what we remember about the conversation. And last time we met at this conference. We met, at the supermarket. We met wherever we met, We used to take that class together. This is the way we build our own ability to love, because we pay attention. And practice remembering names. Even I've learned, I take a notebook, and afterwards I'll actually write down a person's name, especially if I got their contact information. If they gave me a card, I might write on the card something that I remember about them. Some key thing, deep sea fishing, or anything, whatever was interest that will help me also to remember, because we need to exercise to be able to remember things. Now, also, once we make a connection, and this goes for all of our friends, we need to invest in keeping the connection. That means following up. That means occasionally just sending a postcard saying, hey, I was thinking about you. Or making a phone call. These kinds of connections to deepen a relationship more than just the occasional opportunities when we see people. We keep connected. And this is it feels really good when someone just calls you out of the blue and says, oh, I was in town. I knew you lived here. I just wanted to say hi. We don't have to get together. I was thinking about you. Knew you lived here in Atlanta, and I wanted to say hi since I was at the Atlanta airport. Anything like that makes a connection and deepens our love connection. Because what we're doing is we're practicing loving by helping people feel value, by giving attention, by giving love to the people in the environment around us. Keeping connections is really important. And especially one easy way is if you have a common interest in something. If you have an email or whatever, and you find an article about deep sea fishing. And I know all of you are really deeply interested in deep sea fishing. But whatever it is, whatever it might be, the thing that you have in common, I found an article and I thought about the conversation we had the other time. Just email them the link or email them the article. I just thought about this, I saw this and I thought, it was good talking. Look forward to a chance when we can talk about it some more. Something like that, where we can share common interest. If you know that there's going to be an anime and manga festival, and that's where you got connected on, hey, there's a festival happening next weekend. You want to come? We can go together, right? Opportunities where you have a mutual interest to build a relationship. Sharing those common interests. And then, this is something, all of us as young kids probably heard over and over, especially at Christmas time or when we receive gifts from your parents. Don't forget to write a thank you note, right? And the drudgery of, okay, I got to write all these thank you notes for all these gifts I got for my birthday, for Christmas, for whatever. But this is a really healthy habit. It's a healthy habit just to say thank you to people. The guy that helped fix my car, pay good attention, send a little postcard saying, thanks, I appreciate the extra care that you gave, coming out of the way, coming and picking me up, or just anything. Looking for opportunity to say thank you. In this book, I heard a story about a lady. She just has a stack of thank you cards, all ready to go. It already has a stamp on them. So she just, oh, I came back from the supermarket and this person really helped me out. Thank you. Just spreading love by spreading appreciation, gratitude, and saying thank you. It's something that, we need to work on sometimes. All these activities are activities of deepening our expression of love. We're practicing love. It takes work, hard work, diligence to love people. Giving that time, establishing the trust, keeping the confidence, all these things take effort on our part. So, as Unifications, we have this tribal Messiah commitment. Right? We're working to build tribes of true love. Tribes of people that we have loving relationships with. Whether they become members of our church or not, we want many people in our lives that are growing together with us. That we're growing, that we can share deeply about things that we care about, things that we're interested in, that we can contribute to each other. Not just, I'm going to come and I'm going to teach you and show you the right way. Well, I want to share the things I know that I'm learning, but I know that I'm going to learn from my friends. And I'm going to benefit from the relationship. So here from the Family Federation website, this is the commitment that we make as tribal messiahs, is through my own growing relationship with God and with true parents, I commit to creating a life of love, a family and a community of love, and a world of love. That world of love is not going to come just because we brought everyone into the Unification Church. Tribal messiahship is not witnessing in the traditional sense. Tribal messiahship is building that network of people who mutually love and support each other, who are mutually growing towards God, our Heavenly Parent, deepening their relationship and experience of God. That we can support each other in our growth, in fulfillment, and in the experience of joy. I want to close with this from Father Moon. Father Moon says, we do not witness to benefit the Unification Church. We witness not to save our church, but to save the nation. And witnessing is basically just sharing our testimony, sharing who we are. And finally, be a person who can create harmony and friendship. Someone who can harmonize with everyone. Everything starts to flow from there. The kingdom of heaven flows out from the relationships that we have with the people in our lives around us. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, Father, Mother, God. Honorable Woman, thank you so much for your presence in our lives, for the understanding we have through the study of the divine principle, for the precious blessing of marriage. We stand on such a rich foundation of your providence to bring healing and change to this world. And even though in our daily lives sometimes we get discouraged and frustrated, we know that you're always working behind the scenes, bringing people into our lives and opportunities into our lives for us to grow and to break through. Holy Parent, we know that you have hope when you look at each one of us, that each one of us can stand in a position as a tribal Messiah, as someone who can express your love to the world around us. Heavenly Parent, help us build that network of friends, of relationships, from our family to the community, our co-workers, our fellow students, the people that we meet in everyday life, that we can be people who can convey your love in harmony and bring more and more people into relationship with each other, a mutually beneficial, growing relationship of true love centered upon you. So, Heavenly Parent, as your sons and daughters, we ask for your strength, for your vision. As we deal with our busyness, we deal with our fears, we deal with our tendency to be lazy, Heavenly Parent, and truly grow our heart of love and caring for people and experiences in the world around us. So, as your sons and daughters, as grateful, blessed central families, we offer up this prayer and ourselves to you. Amen and adieu. Okay, please turn to your neighbor and share about making friends.